5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know, I still, at 52, nearly going on 53, don't understand relationships. Let's talk about it. Well, hello and welcome to the Tequila Hour. What? Hi. I feel weird because I'm actually in a different position right now. I'm actually in a very comfortable, relaxed chair. I'm not at my desk. I'm using a new microphone. Yeah, it's all happening. I feel like this microphone's cutting out, so I might have to play with the audio. Who cares? Bitch, it's 2026. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. I just said that twice. I'm sitting here, I'm drinking coffee. Who am I? Who the fuck am I? Look, New Year, say me. Just, yeah, more me. I really want to talk about this today. I also wanted to be sober. And now you might be thinking, so are you saying that all your previous podcasts you weren't? Look, there's levels of sobriety. Is that the word? It is called the Tequila Hour, bitch. So, there is a bit of that going on. I don't know what this is going to look like in the sense of using this microphone. My projection on using this microphone is to have guests here with me in the secret location and, yeah, just to have a conversation. And that's the thing. Yeah, I'm clearly happy to have a conversation with myself. To be honest, probably prefer it. At the same time, I want to push myself and move forward. That is something that I always, in my creative endeavours, strive to do. So, yeah, if you're interested and playing along and that's something that you'd like to hear, then you've come to the right place. So, like I said, this recording will probably sound very different to my other recordings in the sense of there'll be no smash pads, bitch. Yes, there'll be audio at the start and the end. But really, this is just me sitting in the chair. I don't know. I'll come up with some creative name for these kind of podcasts where I sit in this position because I still do love my Rode Procaster 2. Yeah, and that's right. Fuck you, Rode. For sucking me into your awesome products and still not sponsor me. Anyway, just saying. Interpersonal. Let's get into the topic of discussion. I'm not even going to do any admin today. That's how serious. That's how serious this conversation. No, it's not that serious. Well, is it? Interpersonal. Why did I call it that? I will touch on that in a second. I just want to get into it. I don't know if you're the same as me. And like I said, at 52, nearly 53, mind you, which I've already just mentioned earlier, it still fucking blows my mind that I feel I don't have any grasp in its entirety on interpersonal relationships. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about communication. I'm talking about interaction. I'm talking about, sorry, I thought I just saw someone at my house. I don't know if it's my husband because I didn't hear the bike. Anyway, sorry. Oh, no, it's John. So that was my father-in-law. He was dropping something off. Anyway, I don't know. What was I going to say? Now I'm distracted because there's another story around that. I don't have a grasp. clearly I do have something. Look, let's give myself some credit here. Yes, I wouldn't have got this far in life if I didn't have any understanding of one-on-one or human interactions in its entirety. Let's cut the shit. I have just realised in the last couple of days with interacting in a very different way than I have for a very long time with people, how much bullshit, okay, I'm just going to call it, how much bullshit that we do onto ourselves and then leading into interactions with others. There's that, okay? We can talk about that. Let's start with that before I get into any other thing. Texting. Am I going to give you a complete snapshot of the interpersonal relationships I'm talking about? No, use your imagination. What I will do, though, is I will talk about texting. Now, I have a podcast. I like to use my voice. I like to hear it. I like to communicate. This would be my form of communication. Yes, I like texting. Shall I say it's easy? Because really, who the fuck knows what you're thinking about? And who the fuck knows what that other person is thinking about? So there's the dynamic there that, you know, for me, I call it the dance, right? The bullshit dance. Because honestly, you can say whatever the fuck you like in text. Sometimes it lands hard. Sometimes it doesn't land at all. And for someone like myself who, now I can hear my husband, I'm pretty sure you can't hear this. You might hear this in the recording, but I'm pretty sure I can hear his bike coming because he's a hoon. Which means I'll have to stop this recording and start again. No, maybe? No? Anyway, I give up. What was I saying? Texting. Now, yeah, you can say, like I said, you can text whatever you like. You know, you're having a conversation, okay, with number A. And you do the dance, okay? This is the thing. When I'm saying, you know, I can text all motherfucking day, and now when I sit here and I say that out loud, actually I can't. Fucking drives me insane. It's just bullshit. If I send you something and I text you, yeah, I'm one of these motherfuckers that if I take the time to text you, like you've texted me, right? I don't know, how's your day going? Unless I'm, you know, in the polar ice caps or fucking climbing Mount Everest at the time or, you know, deep sea diving for hidden treasure, I'll respond pretty quickly. That's who I am. I'm on my shit, you know, I don't have my phone on. Look, I have my phone near me, clearly, most of the time, like most of our human beings on this planet Earth do now. That's another conversation. Yet, what I would say to you that if you take the time, so most people, you know, when you reach out and you want to have a chat or whatever, I will see you text and I will text you back in a timely manner. What's a timely manner to you is clearly different to what I would consider a timely matter or a timely space of time. Like I said, unless I'm deep sea diving on the Titanic, I'll get back to you pretty quickly. That's my first gripe. Am I texting shit ton of shit people? No. But let it be known into the universe. If I text you and I ask you a question or I'm responding to your text, unless you're also deep sea diving on the fucking Titanic, text me back in a timely manner. It's not that hard. And I am 100% confident in this, and I'm saying it out loud for, again, the world to hear, that I know you've seen my text, okay? I know you've seen it. Now, look, am I as precious to say that you've seen my text and you have to respond absolutely in a microsecond or nanosecond to get back to me? Yeah, kinda. At the same time, yes, I know life. Okay, I have a life too. Like I said, I'm not always deep sea diving. I'm doing lots of shit. So sometimes I can't respond instantly, but I do endeavour to respond in a timely manner. What's timely? I don't know, 5 minutes, 10, I don't know, depending on who it is, what the text is about. You know, if it's an emergency, you'd like to think your fucking friend's going to call you back. Who knows these days? This is the thing. 5 minutes, 10, I don't know, maybe a 15-minute window if you want to go there. I don't know, in case you're fucking on the toilet. Some people use their phone in the toilet. I don't know. I think that's fair. 5 to 10, 15, maybe 5 to 15. Unless you're doing something unless you're, this is again, the parameters here. You might be on holiday, okay? I text you. If you text me back, I'm like, it's on me. I wouldn't even text you on holiday. There has been one occasion I think of recently I texted someone not knowing that we're on holiday and then realised they were, and they still texted me back. So bravo, and I've said this to the person, bravo for fucking texting me back. Thank you, because most people wouldn't. Most people don't. So, yeah, if I know you're on leave and, you know, you're with your family, etc., I usually would hesitate to contact you because I know you're on leave and you probably don't want to hear from me. You're spending time, precious time with people you love or doing something that you really want to do, yada, yada, yada. When I'm talking about this week that I've just had, and this is just a snapshot, okay? So this is an easier way for me to break it down for you. Multiple interactions, multiple text messages, all bullshit. I don't know what's worse. I do, now I'm saying it out loud. Yes, there's the timely manner thing. I'm calling it 5 to 15-minute window. Unless the parameters that I just discussed about, you know, you're in outer space even. To be fair, no, you don't need to text me back in that 5 to 15 snapshot, all right? It's about the art of communication in text. Now, if you didn't know, and you could surmise if you've listened to this podcast at all in the last now 4 years, that, yeah, I tend to overthink things a lot. Depending on what the thing is, yeah, I'm an overthinker. It's great. Clearly it's not. There is an upside to being an overthinker. I will acknowledge that. But in the context of texting, no, it's not at all. That's why even at work, I will say to people, call me, or I will call you directly. Instant message, that's another, I don't even know if I want to go there because now we're getting into dangerous territory. Instant message teams work, that's another subject for another day. This fucking does my head in. Anyway, let's just calm down a bit. Just talk about what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, this week, lots of examples, text, communication. It does my head in, mate. When I say I overthink, when I am clearly overthinking the context of my tone, my narration, let alone the fucking spelling, which, again, I don't know if this drives you insane, but autocorrect on Apple phone or any mobile device, I'm sure Samsung's the same, they're not that special, fucking does my head in. There's nothing that irks me that you've checked, you think everything's correctly spelt, or, you know, the sentence that you've built, I don't know how long this text is, that you've built and then sent to someone, and then you read it back and you realise I don't know, the words are mixed around, or you've said where instead of where. I don't know. These things drive me insane. That's why just having a conversation. Look, I have realised a couple of things more this week that's been very highlighted to me. Texting is bullshit. Okay, do we go there? Texting is bullshit. It's handy, okay? It's really handy. It's easy, isn't it? You don't want to talk to someone, hi, how you going? Or, I don't know, when you're coming home from the shops, can you grab me some milk? Super easy, not hard. You can even set up these things, send a text to Apple or fucking send text now to whoever. Does it for you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Is it though? Because I've talked about this before and I'm going to say it again. The art of communication is completely, utterly deceased in text. It's too hard for someone like myself who overthinks things to really just manage tone, to really just clearly manage spelling, even though there's autocorrect. It just does my head in. There's the timely manner thing. Remember, 5 to 15. The thing. It's just the communication style itself. Now, I am either ambiguous or I'm blunt. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. I'm either very direct, not very, very with a V. I'm either very direct, and this is the thing I've been not caught out, but being told to be more direct because I can be ambiguous. Because that comes back to, I don't know, I'm a people pleaser. And so this is the thing. They're very different, aren't they? Ambiguous or direct. Now, when I say direct, and when I talk about some of the texts that I've sent this week, now I'm losing my words, this week, I've been very direct. No hold bars. No hold barred. Is that the saying? Yes. Thank you. Clear as day. This is what I want. ... Right. For example, clear, direct. Now, if you're going to send me a text and we're talking about something and we both know what we're talking about, let's just be direct, okay? You want directness. And this is the thing. You start off direct and then you quickly, the dance then shows or displays who you are, okay? It's subtle. Again, you might be thinking, Amanda, you're overreading this. I could be, but this is my interpretation. When you really start to examine, you do see the psychological, outline of someone, shall we say. I went straight there. That we all want directness, because who doesn't want you to just, get me some milk? Can you get me some milk? Oh no, or can you get me some milk, please? Darling, when you're at the shops, buy me some milk, or can you get me some milk? We need milk, buy it. I don't know. This is the thing. These are versions, all of the same thing. You could just go milk, yes, do it. This is what I'm talking about, the levels, all right? When I say to you the direct conversations that I've had this week, and look, I am a confident person. Yes, there is still that little, if you want to call it my feminine side, you want to call it my over-pleasing side. Yes, I am a bit of a softie. yes, sometimes I struggle with being overtly direct. Overtly, I'll repeat that, overtly direct. That it's amazing that you'll start a sequence, a dance in text, and how quickly it falls and disintegrates into what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck do you want? Where is this going? Stop yanking my chain and cut the bullshit and let's just have a conversation, because I really struggle with the nuance of the dance. And this is what I'm talking about in regards to interpersonal. Text is the one example that immediately I need to touch on. That finite. That finite dance between someone in a text. Again, it's obviously it's subject matter. Use your imagination. The example I gave you was getting some milk at the shop, where you can be really soft, darling. I missed you. Really need some milk. I don't know. Sweet. Or as blunt as get the milk. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing for the person on the other end. You know, I don't know, in a space of time and wherever you are sitting on the timeline of that day, that other person might, you know, you send the soppy one and they'll be like, buy you milk and flowers. They might read the second one where you've just gone milk buy it or milk do it, and they'd be like, bitch, get fucked. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no in between. Yes, clearly there is. Because, you know, you'd like to think, well, this is probably where it comes down to. Husband and wife, you're buying the milk, you're married. Because I said husband and wife. No, you know each other. You'd like to think you do. You think you'd know their communication style by now, what they like and what they don't like, verbally or via text. So you would be confident to go milk do it, ... that they're not going to be offended by that because they like the fact that you're direct. I would hazard to say that still your husband would be like, bitch, what? And this is the thing. If you set the premise of directness in a conversation, and like I said, some of the conversations that I've had this week have been very direct, and I have been very direct. A, the level of misinterpretation. B, how quickly people can go to 0 to 100. Excuse me. Now I've got a runny nose for some reason. And yeah, just the complete misalignment, shall we say, of the use of text. It does my head in. And what I say to you based on the interactions that I've had this week, would I have wanted to have them verbally? You know, there would have been periods of uncomfortableness. I'm not going to lie. I have said to you, texting is easy. I do it, of course. I'm not adverse to texting. What I'm saying is, it's like do at your own peril, basically. It just does my head in. I just don't get it. I understand it. It does my head in. And this is the thing where, and, you know, anything that's written, you know, emails are the same, different but the same, in the sense of you have to censor yourself. You have to know your audience. There's the spelling component and the grammar component. There's the context component, obviously. It's who you're sending it to and when they send it back to you and the response and all that kind of shit. I'm fucking over it. Because the nuance of that communication style Sorry, I'm checking to see if that was my husband, because I'll have to stop recording. It's what I'm trying to get at. The nuance of the communication style that is written, as in text, and now I'm adding the addition of email here in this conversation, because same, in a way, text is just shorter, that the finite nuances of it all, they just do my head in. And I really struggle with dealing then with people after texting some of the interactions that I've had this week. Done my head in. And I'm sitting here now today going, and this is why I don't like people. This is why I don't like people. They drive me insane. I want, what do I want? What do I want? What I really, really want? You know what? I just want authenticity. I just want you to say, if you want some milk, yeah, you can put some sugar on it. I've done it myself. If you need to put a little bit of sugar on it for yourself, if you think that's going to help the conversation, yeah, I'm not going to, poo-poo on you for that. You don't have to. Just simple and easy. Let's be direct. Can you get me some milk? Thanks. I don't know. Or just, can you get me some milk while you're at? I don't know. You don't even have to put the thanks on there. Just, can you get me some milk? I'm being very broad here. This is the thing. Do you agree? We all want people to be honest and direct. At the same time, we don't at all. Because through these types of communication styles, through text and email, how quickly our pea brain cannot overthink, overread, miss the cue in its entirety. And I know I'm not the only person that has the same thoughts of this. And the thing is too, where I'll put my hand up here, being direct. Again, context, who you're speaking with, yada, yada, yada. But even with like this week that I've had, and some of the examples that come to mind, that people don't want directness at all. They want to be pampered, and I was going to say something there, but I won't use that word. Yeah, they don't. Most people don't want directness at all. They want sugar on top. They want the sugar on top. If you don't provide the right sugar, okay, especially in text and email, because this is the easiest way for me to kind of explain what I'm saying. If you don't provide the right sugar for that person, they'll stab you with a knife. The dance is done. And when the dance is done, trying to bring that back into some semblance of a waltz again is near impossible. For someone like myself, where I'm direct, you're direct, then you need some sugar. I give you brown instead of white, and then you ghost, or you write something weird, or you just don't interact at all because I gave you the wrong type of sugar. I don't know. This is the thing. When it comes down to it, I think we need to ban I'm just going to say it. Do we need to ban texting and emails? Or do we need to ban anything that's not verbal communication? Which makes it challenging. As I say this out loud, I understand this will be challenging, because then that cuts the invisible veil, the invisible bullshit, doesn't it? Because there is safety and convenience. And let me just then say to you in brackets, there's the safetiness of that veil, or, that wall that we inertly create by using text and emails, etc., team messages, for example, instead of just fucking picking up the phone and having a conversation. Now, this is a thing, again, depending on the context, the subject, whatever, the platform. All you can do is, let's talk about Instagram. You want to send a message to someone, you message them. It's unlikely that I'm going to call Danessa Myrix directly and say, you're a fucking legend, your makeup's awesome, and have a conversation. No. So, of course, I'm aware that, on a certain phone application or certain platforms, YouTube as another example, that, you're not ringing the person directly. You're not going to ever ring the person directly. The form of communication style has been set out for you, and that style is written, again, very text-like, isn't it? Especially on those social media platforms where you've got so many characters to then communicate what you want to communicate. Therefore, directness is important. Social, parameters would say that, politeness and kindness would be the choice and would be the appropriate one. How many times have you heard people that you follow where they just get bombarded by bullshit? May it be sexual innuendos, may it be just complete rudeness could it be someone even just wanting to stalk them, death threats, all this, right? There's a character volume, and then, these fuckers just spew forth venom, okay? I understand completely then on those type of platforms, you wouldn't want to have the communication being a phone call, because you could not, just think about that for a split second, you could not even allow that to happen just due to the fact of it just wouldn't work, would it? A free line to call someone and just spew forth shit is not going to happen, and just not appropriate and shouldn't happen, let alone have the data space to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? I understand that. I understand then for the certain type of applications, yes, there needs to be a character amount. There needs to be a format that's suitable to that application. It would look like texting. It would look like, how just a short whatever. If it needs to move forward, you use another platform like email. Eventually you might, outside of the platform itself, like Instagram or YouTube, that might look like, in the end, a conversation. That's where you'd like to think it would go. I would probably hazard a guess, depending on who you're interacting with, it never goes to there. It's just an instant message. And I'm over it. I'm over it. I would say to you, I'm not on Instagram, shooting out messages to motherfuckers. It's not my style. I don't comment. I comment very rarely on any social platform to someone else. There has been times, because I'm a big YouTube person, it's probably my favourite social media platform. If something moves me, I will take the time to write something in the comment section, because I don't just write shit for the sake of writing shit. And that probably comes back to text. I'm not writing shit just for the sake of writing shit. If I'm interacting with you, I'm doing my best to get your opinion. I have my opinion. I'm being direct. Let's go. The end. Now, this is a thing where I now have an example that comes to mind where I'm talking about Messenger. Messenger is a good one, related to Facebook. How easy it is just to write, instead of texting, it's a message, right? We've all been there. It's nice and easy. Same as texting, bada bing, bada boom. You have a conversation, yada, yada. Now, when you have, or you believe you have set a precedent in regards to a communication style with someone on Messenger, shall we say, And then it flips, right? And this is the thing, I don't know if you find this, where I think inertly our brains as human beings, we can only do that, like that texting, that messaging for so long because our brains eventually go, I'm out. This is where either the person will break the barrier, that invisible veil that I'm talking about, and they'll actually call you, or you'll see them in person. That's even nicer. They'll actually call you, or the conversation will just slowly but surely disintegrate into nothingness. And, conversations, depending on, again, who it is, the subject matter, yada, yada, yeah, most of the time they'll just filter out. You have your question answered, or, it's just a quick check-in or whatever. Now, if it's been a continual interaction and then slowly but surely that, where I think we all get to, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is my opinion on this, we all get to a point, we all have a brain, not even a brain fart. I think our brain goes, where's this going? All right? What are we doing here? Why are we doing this? What do you want? Interpersonal. Are we in some sort of relationship here? Are you my friend? Are you not my friend? Do you want to be friends? Are you, obviously, there's the friendship, there's the person you love or people you want to love. That's another dance. Like there's, obviously lots of interpersonal relationships going on here. But in the context of, say, friendship, as an example, where there will be that point where, for whatever reason, one or both will withdraw. I think it's a psychological thing. In my opinion, I think it's just the brain just goes, yeah, you've hit peak performance in this type of communication. You either break the veil and you actually talk to this person, or you know what I mean? Or, you endeavour to, instead of just texting, to actually call them and speak to them or meet them, etc. Or you're done, right? Now, for me, I can understand that because I honestly think, for me, like I just said, the whole bullshit of texting as a style of communication, messaging, all of that, I'm doing banners. I know, like, I don't know. I can't, okay? This is where, I agree. I find it challenging these times. I don't want to speak to anyone. It's just easy to text someone. In the end, though, if you actually gave a fuck about the person that you're interacting on any type of level, okay, I'm not talking about your shop assistant. I'm not talking about following up on the order that you just purchased online. I'm not talking about those kind of interactions. I'm talking about someone that you have some sort of level of a relationship with. That may that be a friend, may that be someone you work with, may that you be a family member, maybe that be your husband or wife, etc., your children, all of that, right? There's some sort of connection or connectivity between you and them. The brain gives up. It's had enough, especially if you are someone like myself where I don't have a lot of friends. I'm straight up. Probably because people annoy me. I want to speak to a lot of people, clearly because I have a podcast. At the same time, people tire me out. Honestly, they tire me out. Therefore, I will purposely, interact with someone for a certain period of time. And then, I was going to cut you like a knife, but it's a bit extreme. I will, ghost you, as they like to say. I'm not ghosting you. I need some space. I don't cope with a lot of that for very long because it clearly, by this conversation today, does my fucking head in. So there's that. I will acknowledge that. If you've messaged me and we're going back and forth, like some of the messages that I've had this week, and we're going back and forth, and I'm over it. I'm out. Let me just grab a sip of my coffee. Oh, I know. It's not tequila. Oh, should have been tequila. Oh, it's 12:53. Could be. No, I'm having coffee. I know. That's what I'm saying. I will cut you. All right. I'm done. You've pissed me off. I'm over it. The dance is over. We were salsaing, and now I know we're doing the hokey pokey. I'm fucking over it, right? So I'm out. Done, dusted. See you later. Deuce. The problem for me is and I suppose I've just answered my own question. It's easy when it's you, right? From this side, from your own side, where, you've had it, you're done and dusted, you cut them off, whatever. When it's from the other side and you do not understand, right? Because, again, it comes down to communication. This is where instead of, look, do people have to tell you that, you're boring me to tears and I really don't want to speak to you, have a nice life? That's pretty harsh, isn't it? I would say to you, though, there is circumstances where I'd really appreciate that. Or if you said, as an example, I know we're having a chat and whatever, and you've got to do shit, whatever. Instead of just not replying, why wouldn't you just say, I know I have to go because I actually, and not make it, and this is the other thing, don't bullshit, okay? You don't have to make out that you're just about to get on, the space station. It's weird. I know, I'm just checking because I'll have to stop the audio. You don't have to lie. If we're having a conversation via text and you need to do something or you're over it, even if you're over it, okay, needing to go somewhere, whatever. I know you need to go to the fucking bathroom, you need a drink. I don't give a shit. If you need to, I've got to go, I've got to go out, whatever. You don't even have to make up a story. Just say it. Like, I don't care. Like, I have to go now because I need to go to the bathroom. I'll catch you later. Wait, thanks. Good. I mean, did you have to tell me you were going to the bathroom? I don't really care, but, thanks for telling me. Good-o. You don't need to make an elaborate story, though, that, you've suddenly been called by NASA and you need to go to the moon in the next 5 minutes. This is you don't need to do that. And you really don't probably need to tell me that you really need to take a piss and go to the bathroom, but there needs to be something, okay? Let's just set that as as groundwork here. I would appreciate, and I think most people would appreciate, if we're texting and you're done, just say it, okay? Just say you're done, or I'm over it, I've got to go, whatever. This is a thing where I know, and this is the thing, I'm not going to say to you, and I'm not going to give you shit for not being honest, because we all do it. There's all times where we have to use the veil to protect ourselves or look after ourselves, or we just don't want to. Like I said, how many seconds ago, most people, even myself sometimes, drive me insane. I love being with people. I love interacting with them. At the same time, they fucking drive me insane. I really do have a low tolerance for people. At the same time, I overcare like a motherfucker. So it's a conundrum. It's a conundrum for me. This is the thing where I understand that we often just can't speak our truth. I've even said this on this podcast. I can't just completely be 100% transparent about some of the things I want to talk about. And I really, now this year, and I might do this actually, listen to some of my previous podcasts where I've talked about this kind of vein of conversation about just being completely transparent and speaking honestly. It's really hard. I really do understand that. I am someone who will have an invisible veil, veil of wool, veil. I am someone who is very protective of their boundaries. I have to do that, otherwise I will absorb all of it and trust and believe, no, I don't do that anymore. So there is that, and I understand that, yet I really would, and I am now saying it to myself as well, implore you to just speak out, speak your truth, just have a conversation. Don't, if you want to be direct as a motherfucker, be direct as a motherfucker. If you want to speak to someone, just speak to them. If you're over the conversation, just say that. Am I over the dance? No. I have had some really enjoyable conversations, text conversations this week. I'm not going to lie. I like the dance. It's fun. It is fun. It is on context, whoever it is, it's fun. I understand that. Like I said, though, my I don't know, my interactional time for bullshit will quickly wane, because dancing in text is fruitless, shall we say. If you want to interact, for me personally, if you want to interact with me, let's just have a conversation. Like, we can, I don't know, I can only dance for so long. I can't deal with the bullshit of it all. And yeah, I like it. I appreciate it. I'm into it. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of give and take. Yeah, I'm all about that. But in the end, I'm not. And this is the thing. You just get to, I know for me personally, you just get to a point where you just question your own sanity, to be honest, because the art of communication via text is such a battlefield of bullshit that honestly, I don't want it anymore. Now, for someone who is, I love tech. I'm on my phone. I'm doing bachelor over tea. I'm all about it. Computers, applications, all the good. I'm constantly thinking of things. Yeah, I understand in this space, in time, as the human race, the device that we call the mobile phone is, really, and this is the thing, it's a phone. And when did we decide that the phone, this is probably a good question, when did we decide that the phone was going to be the place that wasn't about speaking to anyone anymore? Yeah, that's a really good question. Because once upon a time, I know back in my day, when at home, we didn't have, before mobile phones, I know, just think of that for a second. Before we had motherfucking mobile phones, we just had phones on the wall. I'm not going to go all the way back to, whatever his name, the Bill dude, and all that, telegrams and all that shit. I'm not going to go that far back. I'm going to talk about, I'm 52. When I was a kid at home, we just had a wall phone. You dialed the number. You dialed the phone. That's it. You had a number, you called someone, you spoke to them. You didn't have the ability to send a text message going, I'm going to call you in 5 minutes, and then call them. Weird. weirdo. You just called them and you just spoke to them and you interpreted as best you could what they were saying. Hopefully you had an honest and open conversation or whatever you needed to talk about. You hung up, the end. Who was the motherfucker? Who was the motherfucker? Did we do this? Clearly we did this because now I sit here today with, an iPhone 16. I'm constantly on it in the sense of I'm checking Instagram or I'm checking my emails or whatever. Maybe I just need to get off this fucking thing. But clearly, who one day went, well, this phone device where we speak to people, we're not going to just have that primarily as that. It's going to be all-encompassing. It's really just going to be a texting machine. It's just really going to be about emails. It's just going to be about veiled interactions with each other, and because it's easier and quicker, and instead of just actually speaking to someone and tone, context, hearing someone's voice, hearing them cry, hearing them stutter, the up and down of their voice, the modulation, that's the word I was looking for, the modulation, the tone, what they say cannot be dismissed at all in the art of just verbally speaking to someone. Yeah, it could be missed if you don't speak your truth, if you don't say what you really want to say, if you're not direct at all. Yeah, of course, in the line of a conversation with, a friend I was texting, and I am now, honestly, I deleted the chat that we'd had, and, because like I said, I easily dismiss people. I'm not going to say that. I mean, I just said it. But what I'm saying is, yeah, if you piss me off, I'll dismiss you until I kind of think about it for a second. That's just who I am. Then, if we'd actually had a conversation and they said, look, and this is the thing, I know this person, they're feeling a certain way. I'm very intuitive. I don't, even though I overthink, I am very confident in knowing when, if you've got something to say and you're not saying it, I know what you want to say. Full stop. Yes, there are times when I'm wrong. I'm not going to say I'm like fucking Yoda over here, but I will say that, yeah, I read the cues very well, and when you're not saying something and then you just drop off, well, that's just disappointing. Just tell me. And this is the thing where it's just easier then just to, when the format is text or email, etc., that written format, it's just easier just to drop off. And then the poor bastard on the other end is just like, well, what? What? Instead of you just going, I just needed to go to the bathroom, or look, I feel like I'm upset at you, not feel like I am upset at you because of A, B, C, or, you did this thing and I don't like it. I don't, or anything, all and everything, whatever it is, that thing that's stopping you from communicating in a style that you were previous. Instead of just verbally saying it and then, having that conversation and going, well, okay, this has upset me. You can hear my tone. I'm telling you I'm upset. And then this is where I'm talking about interpersonal relationships, because then that space bubble that's generated both sides by two people are never burst and are never really ever intertwined at all. There's really never a level of connectivity between people when it's like that. And I just don't want that anymore. I just don't want it anymore. I like I said, I've had a great week, talking about interpersonal relationships, talking about texting. It's been fun. I would say to you, though, apart from my disdain of people in general after a certain period of time, that I'm just going to endeavour moving forward that if you text me, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you, bitch. I'm done. And if you then don't want to be my friend, or you don't want to interact with me, or you don't want to have a conversation, then I know. If you don't answer the phone, I'm going to take that as you don't want to speak to me. It could be that you're doing something, so, I'll leave a voicemail if you've got a voicemail. I don't know. Yes, there's going to be clearly by just thinking about, I don't know, in a work environment, if I call you and you're on another call, well, you're not going to answer, are you? If you, let me just see, I'll just see, now I've got a text message. Isn't that funny? Well, it's from my husband. I'm like, actually, at this moment of time, I'm glad he texted me because I'm recording. That's the only time. Weird. That, yeah, moving forward, I'm putting it out there. If you text me or message me and I don't know, I think we need to I'm going to call you. No, I don't know. Oh, see, it's really hard, eh? Because now I'm just questioning it all. Or the other thing is I just blanketly block texting in its entirety. If you want to speak to me, fucking call me. Then we can have a conversation. Then, if you need to go or you've got something to say or you just want to talk about something, let's just fucking talk about it. I'd really like to have a conversation with you because then at least I have some sort of semblance of an understanding where we're at in our relationship. Instead of me overthinking and putting blanks or filling in the blanks or just telling you to get fuck off because I'm over the bullshit of this communication type. I don't know. I don't know. Truly, I don't know. And I don't know why we have I don't know, broader as a society just gone, well, this is how we now communicate with each other, but we expect at the same time to be all connected. That's a good question because that does my head in as well. How on earth does anyone think that they're going to be connected to anyone else if the main communication style is via text or via email? It's not via verbal communication. But how? How will we moving forward? I mean, isn't that in existence where people put chips in they can, oh yeah, what was that? I'm sorry, I'm just on a random sidetrack here, that note where that, I can't even remember, the person who put their chip in the arm to, I don't know, for their train card or something, and then they could just use the chip and it just paid. I mean, one day, is it where, God forbid, if I'm, around, and then I'll be just probably walking around going, just talk to me. By then, I will be living in Japan and I will be alone with all my cats. I'll be like, don't come near me, bitch. With your fucking tab in your arm, chip in your arm. I mean, one day, are we just going to be walking around with devices on our arms? And I've thought, Highlander is a device. I'm not going to go into that today. I clearly just thinking of it now in my mind, do I even want to? That device needs to change if I want it to do what I think I want it to do. Now I'm probably losing you. people walking around with chips in their wrists and just touching wrists, well, that's touch then, isn't it? Let's answer my own question. I don't know. Sunglasses that just connect with other people and just your mind just has a thought and it texted it. That's not a word. It will create a text and send it to the other wearer and you never have to speak to them. Is this where these devices are going? That once upon a time, not that long ago, that the phone was a device that you had on the wall at home or you had a dial-up phone and you dialed the number. Not that long ago at work, I had a desk phone, and I got calls and a light flashed and I picked up the phone and, if I had to call out, I'd have to dial the number. They don't even exist anymore. Dialing is done on the computer. It's not even a hard device. One day, are we not going to have any phone calls? Is all interactions, I'm sure for speed and efficiency, if I was to think as a company, the time taken to answer calls by people could be eliminated via an AI, where the AI, which, we have on websites now where you have the chatbot and you speak to the chatbot and they filled with, generic question and answers and most of the time people are asking the same questions. Therefore, the chatbot will either answer the question or lead you to where you'll find the answer, depending on the chatbot and the design, etc. Are we going to be at a place in the not too distant future when you call a company and they don't answer the phone anymore? Will you even call them? This is the thing. You call and an AI answers. And I'm not just talking about at the start of the call and then it diverts you. I'm talking about the entire call. You never actually speak to a person. Call centers gone. Okay? AI is doing it all. No call centers even required. All forms of communication are done online, are done via text or email or a portal, etc. You never actually speak to anyone. The only time you might speak to someone, say I'm thinking about, as an example, the retail industry, the only time you'll speak to an actual person is if you go in person. And even that is changing, has changed the landscape of retail as just one example. I could go on and on about this. Is dying, is getting less and less, but at the same time we want it because we all need, even me who, people drive me insane. Even I need human interaction. Even this podcast, even me sitting now on my own, I love doing this. I love talking to you. I love talking and hearing my voice and, me, formulating my ideas and creative thoughts and putting them out into the universe. Even I can understand, the growth of this podcast by having someone with me where I can actually speak to them and have an actual one-on-one conversation and they can gauge me and I can gauge them and, isn't that what we all want? Isn't that what we really desire and what we need as the human race? Because honestly, interpersonal relationships, and we could go on and on. Interpersonal relationships are already so challenging, complicated, unique, mind-blowing, wanted, needed, desired, that why are we hurting ourselves Why are we, I don't know, dimming ourselves? I don't know. I don't. This is the thing, I really don't get it. And I really don't. For me, who has all, I would say to you, I've probably, I don't know, has it been a struggle dealing with people? Yes, it probably has been. I am a loner. I like being alone. At the same time, I don't. So like I said, it is a conundrum. And it has been something that throughout my thinking back my entire life where there has been moments where I've been super close to people, like super close, and lost people and they've moved on, or I've left people and they've moved on. And yeah, I still, right now, I just struggle with it. And I don't know if I'm not saying I struggle with talking with people. I just struggle with the art of just relationships and communication in how we do that now. It does my head in. And like I said, moving forward, yeah, I don't want to be, and I'm striving to be, I just want to be authentic. I want to be real with you. I just want to have a conversation. I'll put my hand up. I'm starting a revolution, bitches. If you want to talk to me, let's actually talk to each other, okay? Just call me. If I want to talk to you, I'm going to call you, okay? I'm not going to text you anymore. I'm just going to call you. And I want to have a conversation with you. If you have something to say, just tell me. Just tell me. If I have something to say to you, I'll tell you. Now, I'm going to premise this. Yes, there's some conversations that are harder than others. I'm not going to say to you right now, in true authenticity, that I haven't had conversations that I need to have. Because I'll put my hands up in the air. Honestly, I will put my hand up today and say, yes, there is conversations that I need to have and I haven't had them yet. Hand on heart, conversations I need to have. Scared, afraid of the response, afraid of my own response. Shit scared, to be honest, with some of them. Hand on heart, yes, there is conversations that need to be had. And this is probably one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast today, because still at 52, I struggle with interpersonal relationships, especially with people I give a fuck about. Struggling with that still. And that's what I am then saying, aligning it to styles of communication like text, email. They're doing us a misjustice. They do not serve us. They will be our downfall. We need to just break the veil, cut the shit. Yes, there is discernment. Like I said, I'm using discernment right now. Hand in the air, hand on heart. I'm saying there is conversations I need to have with people. I haven't had them yet. I'm using discernment. I'm using grace. I'm very acutely aware of that. I'm also in control in the sense of saying to you that moving forward, if I've got something to say to you, I'm going to say it to you. I'm going to call you, unless you don't have a phone or you're in outer space or deep sea diving, then I'm going to call you and we're going to have a conversation. However that goes, it might be a minute, it might be an hour. I just really want to talk to you because I actually give a fuck, okay? And I'm putting it out into the universe. Why don't we try that? Why don't we just, if the platform that we're using is text, like I said, is social media platforms, is the example, yes, there is that. There's a reason why. I will then pivot, the word I love, not really, bullshit. I will pivot and say to you that if that conversation then needs to move and you want it to move, then have a conversation. I will challenge anyone today listening to this podcast. If you're using a platform that then you want to actually speak to someone, yeah, it might be scary, and I'm saying it to myself. Yeah, it's scary. Just call them. Have a conversation. Because trust and believe, I would say to you, and I'm saying it to myself, at least I know in a greater sense where I am and where they are because we've spoken to each other. The end. And that's the thing. Am I ever going to work this out? Probably not. Do I want to work it out? I don't know. There's a reason why these types of relationships or interpersonal relationships, especially with people you give a fuck about, why they are, easy breezy cover girl. They're not. Because we bring all our shit, they bring all their shit, and we do the dance, and then we try and figure it out along the way. Wouldn't it be, do we want a world, or do we want it to be not the dance anymore? Do we want it to be simple, easy? I would probably premise that we don't. We purposely create these balloons of shit around us because we're protecting ourselves. So I understand that. Clearly I do. Yet I would, and I am putting it out there to anyone who listens to this podcast to go, instead of texting that person that you care about, or even, your best friend or your husband, your wife, whatever, those I want to apply to all relationships. I wish I could. That would be really interesting, but I will break it to make it more palatable, shall we say, to the people that you actually give a fuck about. I'm going to challenge myself, and I would challenge you. Instead of sending, I'll use work. Instead of me sending an Insta message because I have a question or I want to check something, just call. Just call. They're even not going to answer, and then you could just text them and say, can you call me back? Because then you're having a conversation, or they're on the phone. Okay, let's just start there. Or even at the end of the day when, your husband or wife does text you. I can't say that texts you. Instead of just sending a quick text, why don't you just call them? Or why don't they just call you and say, hey, how was your day? I know, or, I'm just a call. Can you grab some milk on the way home? Yeah, you could send it in a text. You could elaborate as much as you want or not elaborate at all, or you could just call and have a conversation. Because I am saying to myself, and I would say to you, that wouldn't the world just be a better place if we did that? Can we break that veil a little bit? Can we push ourselves a little bit? Can we connect a little bit more? Because that's really what this is all about, isn't it? I think it is. I think it is. So, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there today. So, where do we go? Shall we say that I will endeavour, and not endeavour, I will, not endeavour because that's just broad, I will call you. Call me now. Anyway, this podcast, I'm in 2026. We are in 2026. Got a new setup, got the same setup, an additional setup. I really, I'm bringing it this year. I have a lot of plans for my life, which I can talk about in another podcast. a lot of it in work in progress. But I'm super keen to just step further into a place of, just openness, sincerity, authenticity, speaking my truth, not, not putting the balloons of bullshit around me, not censoring, and see what happens. The year of authenticity. I like that. Anyway, let me just say thank you, as always, to those who do take the time to listen to this podcast. If you ever do want to contact me, you can email me. You can't call me. I've just done a whole look, you know what? Maybe I should, I've just answered my own question and I've just done a whole podcast and then I've told you to email me. What an asshole. You know what? Based on that, just what I've just realised, now, do I want you calling me on my personal mobile? Because I don't know. I have to think about this. Do I get a business phone? And then I will give you the business number. And if you want to speak to me, you can. Should I do that? There's the question of the day. If I had a business phone, would you call me? And do you want to have a conversation? In the meantime, though, think about that. Pause. As I pause and realise what I've just done. I'll pause. In the meantime, till I get a business phone number. Yeah. You can email me. You know what? Email me and be direct, okay? Don't sugarcoat it. If you've got something you want to talk about, if you've got something I want to talk about or you'd like my opinion on or you have a conversation you'd like to talk about, then let me know. My email address is info@thetequilahour.com.au. Yep, social media, I'm still on it. Don't ask me for how long, honestly. That maybe I need to think about that in the broader sense as well. I think we all do. I do have the Tequila Hour, which is my Instagram handle, and I have my own, which is the _1_Amanda. So if you want to reach out to me via social media, you can. I have YouTube as well, platforms. I keep saying this. I need to do something about it, and I will. In the year of authenticity, I do saying that to myself repeatedly. I do need to do something. Anyway, thank you. Catch you on the next one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will speak to you next week. See ya. Bye.